Okay, so now on this page, still with the Tower of Babel in my head, because obviously I turned the page and I'm still talking about Moses with Exodus 14 and 21 when he went into the wilderness located around Mount Sinai. But that was just me drawing like just some type of well, that's how I found out that the Grand Canyon worked as a underground railroad, like pretty much for the whole world. But I'll get into that another time too. But back to this. So this is pretty much going into like the sun, the moon, and then like the direction of the sun and the moon, because now you're thinking about the neck. Well, right here from when I showed you about the neck with the trees, you know, the tree grow up and down. That's what I was showing you. Like, this is life, that's death, right? So in the middle of life and death was the tree of Babel, the Tower of Babel, whatever, the tree of life and death. But this was the throat, so that's why that's there, right? So that would mean the throat is also a spiritual place on the body. So as far as the body, your throat is the right, will represent spirit, the spiritual realm. So back to this. So the sun, so it sets in the east. It rises in the east and sets in the west. So you have to think about the directions. But if you find older maps, and I mean like older maps, you'll see east is placed up here instead of north. South is here instead of east. West is here instead of south. And north is here instead of west. I'm sorry. But this is the original directional for the maps, locations, east, south. And then you think about it, north, the North Pole, the North Pole is like right here in the middle. But you have to think about this graph now, or think about a graph. But anyways, that would put north here, south there, because south is furthest from the north. But anyways, and then just showing here how if the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, does it go up and down, or does it hit the north, go west, or does it go east, southwest? Like, how does it hit? Because one part is not going to get sun, and we all know that's the South Pole. So that would tell you that the sun goes east, north, and west. So then it also tells me that the sun, is electric, and the moon is magnetic. One pushes, one pulls. One pushes light, one pulls darkness, or vice versa. But they push and pull. They share the day. It's 12 hours in a day, because they tell you like a day is 24 hours, but that's not true. That's why a lot of people get confused in the Bible too about the days and the nights. But a day is 12 hours from midnight starts the new day, right? Midnight to noon, that's your day. Noon until set, that's your set is 6. But I'll get into all that later. But anyways, sun rises, and it rises with the morning star, Mercury, and it goes through all of these regions and sets. But on this other page, I added Pluto to show a better representation of how the sun goes. Starts in the east, and it goes through all of these regions, right? It hits all of these regions, and it sets in Pluto. This side doesn't get sunlight. They get the natural light, the darkness, was the first light. But this also tells you that this is the sun's rotation now. So then I'm like looking at this like, okay, reminds me of a rainbow. That's what we got on this here. But also tells me that the rainbow was just broken up. We only see half of the rainbow, but the rainbow looks just like that. It's a complete circle. But we only see half of it because of the sun's rotation. But anyways, I'm going to have to make another video. These are getting longer and longer of how these are all connected.